In the shadows of the Cold War, the greatest threat to Americans came from their own government, not from Soviet missiles, not from foreign agents, but from experiments carried out on American soil, without warning, without consent, from radioactive oatmeal in state-run institutions, to glowing mist sprayed over poor black neighborhoods in St. Louis. This is the story they never told you.
We played under the glowing mist. No one told us it was poison. Decades later, I buried my brother, and now I wonder, was it the army?
1953. St. Louis. U.S. Army sprays cadmium sulfide over urban neighborhoods. 1950s. Massachusetts. Children fed radioactive oatmeal by MIT. 1960s. Nashville and San Francisco. Pregnant women given radioactive iron, all without consent. All in the name of science. This is not science fiction. This is U.S. history. After World War II, America entered a new kind of war. One waged in silence, secrecy, and shadow. The Cold War sparked a scientific arms race, where radiation wasn't just a weapon, it was a tool of experimentation. In 1947, the U.S. government created the Atomic Energy Commission, tasked with overseeing nuclear power. But with it came classified projects, human trials, and national security, above all. In 1949, Operation Sea Spray released bacteria over San Francisco. The public? Never informed. And this was just the beginning. In Massachusetts, the Fernald School housed children with developmental disabilities, many wards of the state. Between 1946 and 1953, scientists from MIT and Harvard, funded by the Atomic Energy Commission, ran nutrition studies on these children. The breakfast oatmeal was laced with radioactive calcium and iron. The goal? To track absorption rates. The result? Children used as unknowing test subjects. No one told us it was dangerous. They said it was for science. Former Fernald resident, 1994 congressional hearing. At top research hospitals, including Vanderbilt University and UCSF, hundreds of pregnant women were given radioactive iron. Without their knowledge, without their consent. They were told it was a prenatal vitamin. In truth, researchers were studying how radiation passed to the fetus. Some women later reported miscarriages, others lifelong illness in their children. Their names were never recorded, only their exposure levels. In the early 1950s, the U.S. Army sprayed zinc cadmium sulfide across low-income neighborhoods in St. Louis, primarily targeting black residents living in the now infamous Pruitt-Ego housing complex. Residents saw the mist but were told it was a test for urban fog. The reality? They were breathing in a compound containing cadmium, a known carcinogen.
We were the experiment. We just didn't know it. St. Louis resident 2012 interview.
For decades, these experiments remained hidden, buried in redacted reports and military secrecy. But the truth began to surface in the 1970s, when the Church Committee exposed unethical human experimentation by federal agencies. By the 1990s, President Clinton's Advisory Committee on Human Radiation Experiments confirmed what survivors had long suspected. Many of these tests were real and intentionally hidden.
In a public apology, President Clinton said, "What was done cannot be undone, but we can end the silence. We can stop turning our heads away."
Some families received settlements, most did not. For many, justice never came. Today, the scars of these experiments linger, not just in bodies, but in communities, in public trust, and in memory. Children of the exposed still suffer from chronic illnesses. Mothers still mourn miscarriages they couldn't explain. Entire neighborhoods still ask what they were really breathing. They called us collateral, but we were people. This is a story of science without ethics, of a nation that tested its own people and kept it quiet. But silence doesn't erase pain, and truth, no matter how late, demands remembrance. This is not just history, this is a warning.